Nobody in the marble lobby dared to breathe. Not even when the billionaire who owned half the building got put in his place by a woman most people never noticed. Charlene Brown, 54. Security uniform, eyes that had seen too much, stood there, arm outstretched, holding up a black badge holder with the gold seal of the Pentagon. Not a threat, a warning. It was the kind of thing you'd only see if you'd crossed a line you didn't even know was there. And let me tell you, Preston Vale, CEO, billionaire, man who thought rules were for other people, well, he'd just found the line the hard way. You want to know how we got here? Let me back up a sec. It was a regular Manhattan morning at One Sovereign Plaza, all polished stone and that sterile. Silent energy you only find in places where money moves faster than people do. Preston didn't just enter. He arrived, every step echoing. Charcoal suit, expensive watch. Assistant 3 paces behind juggling 2 phones, doors opening before him like magic. Except this time, the magic didn't work. "Sir, I'll need to see your badge," came a voice, calm and unshaken. From the side, Charlene, just doing her job. Or so he thought. "You know who I am?" he said, barely looking up from his phone. "Yes, sir. Still need your badge." A small crowd pretended not to watch as Preston puffed up, started in on the threats, the condescension, the "I could have you fired by lunch" routine. She didn't blink. And that's when I started paying attention, not to him, but to her. She had that quiet power, the kind you only earn by surviving storms most people can't even imagine. He finally stormed off, fuming, and the lobby went back to pretending nothing happened. But everything had changed, even if nobody realized it yet. Charlene sat down, typing the morning log, straightening reports, staring at her reflection. One of those days where you see the lines, the years, and the strength it took to keep standing anyway. Her shift ended. She rode the subway back to the Bronx. Got ignored by the kid with headphones and eyed suspiciously by the woman clutching her purse. It was routine, expected, like being invisible was part of the uniform. But at home, she wasn't invisible. Her apartment was quiet, decorated with old photos, a folded flag, the silent weight of a life that never made headlines. She knelt at her steel footlocker, running her hand over her old badge, Major Charlene R. Brown, U.S. Military Intelligence, and whispered, "They forgot who I am." That's when her phone buzzed. Unlisted number. A text. "You're being watched." No signature, just that cold, familiar chill. Yeah, that happened. Next morning, she was back at work, earlier than usual, acting like nothing rattled her. But she watched Preston more closely. And when he met a black car in the underground garage, exchanging briefcases with no plates, she knew this wasn't just corporate games. The briefcase tag. Export only, Class D. Military tech. That's not supposed to happen. Every night, new faces, same car, same shady exchange, all during little blind spots in the camera schedule. She dug deeper, frame by frame, until she spotted a familiar face, Commander Walter Creed. Dishonorably discharged, smuggling weapons. Now working with Preston. Her gut twisted. She'd seen this playbook before. The corruption that buried her military career, the smear campaigns, the friends lost. And now it was happening again, in her city, in her building, right under everyone's noses. That night, as she left work, she found an envelope under her windshield wiper. Inside, a note. "Major Brown, we need to talk. Pier 17, 10 p.m. Monday." The next few days, the tension in the building shifted, but only a little. Preston strutted in like nothing could touch him. Until the morning, he tried to call her out in front of everyone, recording her on his phone, shouting about harassment and power trips. Charlene didn't raise her voice. She just reached into her bag, pulled out her Pentagon credentials, and unfolded them in the middle of the lobby. You could feel the oxygen leave the room. "You didn't know who I was, but you're about to find out." Her voice never shook. And Preston, for the first time, did. Not move, not speak, just stared. The next day, HR sent out a memo. Security had elevated clearance. Verbal intimidation would be dealt with as policy violations. Charlene almost laughed. They weren't protecting her. They were protecting themselves. That evening, she met with her old contact, Roy, a retired analyst. He handed her a USB drive. She took it home, opened it on an offline laptop. Wire transfers, fake companies, encrypted contracts, all pointing to Preston and Creed. This was bigger than ego. This was a federal crime. And she had evidence. She didn't want a headline. She wanted accountability. She organized the files, built a timeline, reached out to a shadow network, old agents, whistleblowers, people who knew how to make secrets matter. They called themselves Shadow Echo. Within minutes, replies flashed across her screen. This is real. They're exporting weapons-grade AI overseas, hidden behind shell companies. She didn't rush it. She waited for Preston to make one more mistake. She engineered a blind spot in the garage cameras, the same pattern as his handoffs. Tipped off an old FBI friend anonymously. Subject will incriminate himself, she wrote. Friday night, Preston swaggered into the garage, briefcase in hand, unaware of the military-grade camera Charlene had hidden nearby. The exchange went down. The FBI stormed in. Preston was done before he realized he'd been caught. Charlene sat upstairs, monitoring, finally exhaling. In the holding cell, Preston tried to play tough, but Charlene walked in. No uniform, just those old combat boots and that steel-cold stare. You're just the damn security guard, he said. She dropped the folder on the table. Evidence, video, financials, the whole mess. I was never just anything, she told him, and that's when it hit him. He wasn't the one in charge anymore. News broke the next morning. Tech mogul arrested, whistleblower revealed. The video of Charlene showing her badge hit YouTube, 1 million views in 6 hours. She didn't watch it, didn't care. She sipped her coffee in silence, sorting the last few names she needed to expose. She wasn't after fame. She wanted something nobody could give her but herself. Restoration. Vale Corp contracts suspended, Creed arrested, lawmakers calling for investigations. But in the plaza lobby, Charlene went back to work. This time, people saw her, greeted her, tried to apologize. She kept it professional. She didn't need their praise. She'd already cleared her name. One morning, as she waited for the elevator, a couple of attorneys whispered, "She should be running this building." She didn't turn, but her reflection met her eyes. Calm, proud. For the first time in decades, she wasn't carrying shame, just legacy. A few days later, she burned her old discharge papers in her apartment, watched the ashes swirl away in the sink. Not a victim, not just a guard, a survivor, a warrior, a witness. That afternoon, instead of the tower, she went to a high school in the Bronx for career day. Jeans, t-shirt, a single dog tag under her sweater. She told the kids, "I served as a major in U.S. military intelligence. I work security. I helped take down $1 billion crime ring from inside a lobby." One girl asked, "How did you get so strong?" Charlene smiled. "Most of my life, people tried to ignore me. When the world doesn't see you, you either disappear or you make sure they never forget your name." She walked out with the sun at her back, not chasing justice anymore, just living by it. And you, watching this, if stories like this make you think, make you feel, make you question who really defines justice, drop your thoughts in the comments. Right, wrong, or somewhere in between. Hit subscribe for more stories that don't let you look away. I want to know what justice means to you.